What is going on, YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C-Dub, and I'm back with another video. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about my life before OMAD and my life now and how they're different now that I'm 22 months into the journey. And I'm going to bring you that right after this. What is going on? If you're new to my channel, my name is C-Dub, and I lost 125 pounds eating just one meal a day. Welcome. I started this channel to hook you up with tips, tricks, knowledge, and ideas that I've learned along the way in my journey to help you out on your journey. And to my weight loss warriors, my subscribers, my people, thank you so much for clicking on my videos day in and day out and subscribing to this channel. I appreciate your support. It means the world, and boy, do we got a video for you today. Let me start off by saying that the state wrestling tournament is now concluded and gone behind us. And in 2018, I was in a very similar situation. I was just coming off of the state wrestling tournament, and I was sitting around trying to figure out another way to lose weight. And it wasn't for a little bit longer before I stumbled upon Joe Rogan's podcast and started on my journey to eat just one meal a day. Prior to all of that good stuff, though, I knew I wanted to lose weight, and it was right about this time when I was reflecting, and that made me look back at the last 22 months and kind of wonder where I was at versus where I'm at to now in my life, and I decided to bring that to you now. Now, it's not quite 2 years, and I'm sure I'll have something nice for the 2-year, anniversary of OMAD kind of deal for you guys, but I wanted to talk about how things were going around me then and how they're going now. So back in 2018, when I started this journey, it was very difficult for me to do really anything physically. I was under 2,000 steps a day. I struggled at wrestling practice and set for most of it. When we traveled and went to tournaments, I made sure that I had a handicap sticker with me at all times for not just parking, but so that I could show tournaments and sit on the floor and not have to go up and down bleachers and stairs. And I made sure that I had a place to sit at all times. I made all of my wrestlers always come to me. When things were needed to be done around the house, oftentimes I would send my children to do them, and I wouldn't get up and handle them myself. And so just looking at that aspect of me, I went from being basically non-mobile at all to somebody that's walking an average of 15,000 steps a day. Sleeping is another situation that I struggled with prior to doing OMAD. I would sleep 10 hours a night and still feel tired, and sometimes on the weekend 12 hours. And so in the process of doing OMAD for 22 months, now my sleep is so much better, and I'm averaging about 6 hours a night, whether it be a weekend or not. And that's all I really need to feel refreshed and energized. A lot of that is due to the sleep apnea that I had prior to doing OMAD. And my sleep apnea has turned around 100%. And now I'm sitting here 22 months later with no signs of sleep apnea, no CPAP machine, and just feel rested and full of energy. My typical eating day in 2018 was I would wake up in the morning and I would fix myself chicken and rice. And sometimes I would crumple some chips up in it, and I would eat that for breakfast. I would go to school and have a Pepsi Max, and then I would eat whatever the school had for school lunch. And sometimes I would eat 2 school lunches, and then I would go home from there, have a quick snack before dinner. I would eat dinner, and then a lot of nights, 7 o'clock or so, I would cook myself some popcorn with whatever I was watching on TV. That was my typical day eating back in the day. I also went out to eat at least 2 times a week, maybe as many as 3. And so, as you can tell, I ate all over the place. I didn't really eat fast food. It's something that needs to be stressed on this channel, that I'd already given that up a lot earlier, but that did not stop me from eating at restaurants and doing things like pizza, which I never really considered fast food. And so ultimately my diet was just a continuous eating all day long, and what it is now is so much different. Now I wake up and do nothing. I drink water. I sometimes will have a Pepsi Max during the day if I feel as though it's necessary, and I have Pepsi Maxes with my dinner. I drink water in the day. I have one meal. I only eat within a 1 hour window, and most of the time I'm finished eating within a half an hour. I do adjust that window to whatever socially is happening that day. If we have somebody to eat lunch with, I will go eat lunch. If there was a breakfast I needed to attend, I would go ahead and eat there and just extend my fast longer. but I don't have to worry about food as I did before, which saves me a lot of time. And one of the main reasons why I get the opportunity to walk 15,000 steps every day and lift weights is mainly because I don't spend so much time preparing, cooking, eating, and cleaning food like I used to before. There's always the weight loss. You know, when we talk about a before and after, right here you're going to see a picture of me before, and right here you'll see a picture of me after, and you can clearly see that weight loss has been a big part of this. 125 pounds up to the date as of right now. I'm thinking about maybe picking it up and losing some more. I don't know. I'm still kind of torn on it. You know, I am doing better, but, you know, I feel like I've been maintaining for about a year now, a little bit longer maybe, and I feel good about where I'm at with my weight. But, you know, sometimes I feel like I need to challenge myself a little more. But ultimately speaking, I haven't gained any weight in, well, a long time, let's just say. The last time, over a year. The last time that I had weighed myself, the first time I saw 180 pounds was actually at the state tournament last year. So it is 1 year of being able to stay in the 180s, and now I'm kind of in that lower 180 range. But it would be nice to maybe see the middle 70s. We'll see if I decide to push through that. But when we're talking about before and after, I think visuals are good, and that's why I put these pictures up. But I wanted to take a half a second to talk about the fact that I'm in a large t-shirt right now. And as you can see, I have a little bit of room to where I could grow. But I wanted to show you guys, now I don't have a lot of clothes left. But this bad boy is a 3X that I used to wear. And I used to wear it to wrestling tournaments. So I wanted to put it up, look at next to my shoulder. As you can see how much more space there is now, but it doesn't even do it justice until I put it on. So I'm going to put it on over top of the t-shirt that I have now, and you'll really get an idea of how much weight I actually lost in this before and after. Now look at this thing and see how much room this literally has for me to be in, and think that I used to fill this whole shirt up to where you could see my stomach sticking out, which is just pretty an amazing thing when you really think about it. And I thought that was an impressive way to show you exactly the weight loss without just looking at pictures and understanding. But there's so much more. Before the weight loss, I was riddled with skin tags. I had, I think, 80 something of them removed right before my weight loss journey. And right now today, I have 0, which really shows you in the 2-year period of time I've been fasting, I have none. But I think that one really point that I want to drive home is the fact that my knee was in a great deal of pain. I had to take Percocet almost daily. I was struggling with all kinds of knee and back and hip issues. All of them hurt, but my right knee in particular was the worst. And I replaced my knee for the 3rd time during the weight loss journey. And since then, my knee has been amazing. My hip feels better and my back feels good as well. I'm not in pain like I used to be. And little simple things like sitting too long, sitting up, holding my head up, things like that used to really devastate me. I don't feel like that anymore. I can also sit into areas that I used to feel uncomfortable, like on a plane or a train or something where you're crammed into an area, like at the wrestling tournament this weekend at States. I could literally sit in one of the stadium seats and not feel like, oh my God, I'm intruding the person next to me and I don't feel comfortable and the seat wasn't made for me and I have to squeeze myself in. And all of those good things. I can also remember going to a concert with my children. We saw the Imagine Dragons, and being able to sit at that concert with people everywhere and stand and move and be able to make it in and out of areas so much easier now than I did previous to when I had the weight gain. Also, a few other things to keep in mind is I get people, so many more people come up to me and say hi to me. They wave to me when I walk by, complete strangers, than I did when I was morbidly obese and 310 pounds. Or 312 pounds, I guess. I'm just stating the facts here. I'm not trying to say that that was the right thing in the situation, but the facts are that people treat me differently than when I was overweight. And I even see it within amongst my peers in the wrestling community. A lot of the other coaches seem to respect me a lot more now. Although I was winning when I was overweight, it always seemed like people would say, well, he's winning because of that young coach in his room, or he's winning because he has talented kids at his school, or, there will always be a but. And now people are like, wow, Coach Wyatt's done the work, he's winning, and they start to believe in me more as a coach. I am no better now, other than the fact that I'm moving around more, than I was back then, but the impression is that I am better because I'm more physically fit, and I do think it has helped me along the way in my professional career. And I think that it will help going forward with whatever thing that I do, because I just feel like people think appearance is so much, and that doesn't mean that they're right or that it's fair. I'm not trying to say any of that. I'm just trying to say from my personal experience, I feel like people treat me differently now that I am a smaller human being. Now that we've talked about that, I think another thing to talk about is the fact that my eating has changed. I used to eat exponentially more at each one of my sittings than I do in my OMAD now. I don't feel as hungry as often and by any stretch of the imagination. I only really feel hungry when I know I'm about to eat. And the amount of food that I've eaten is much smaller and much healthier than it was prior to. Before, I could go through and I could eat at a place and it wouldn't be that best food, but it was quick and easy and greasy and whatever, and I would eat it and I'd be okay. And now I won't even eat food if it's not quality. When I look at food, I turn food down all of the time because I can see it's not going to do what I needed to do to sustain me for the next day. So I'm very hyper aware of that, and I'm able to push away food that I was not able to resist before. And that's another big element of this, is before I always felt obligated to eat, whether it be a social event or, food at work or something like that. And now I just don't feel like I have to eat unless it's time for me to eat and time for me to be hungry. So I think these are all things that are positive. But I would like to say that I think that what has impacted me the most is my physical fitness, is being able to go from somebody that has not been able to move and did not have an interest in exercise to a person that's considering getting personally trainer certified, to a person that is now moving around all the time in a wrestling room instead of sitting in one position, to a person that walks the hallways of the schoolway to make sure things are okay when he doesn't have kids in the room, where before I just sat in my chair. And just being able to go play basketball with my son, to go throw football with my son, to be able to help them out on the mat whenever they need some kind of advice or some kind of thing when it comes to the physical side of things, is the part that I think is made the biggest impact. And it's also the part that I gained at the end of the journey. A lot of you that have watched this channel understand this, but if you don't, I did not start exercising until I was probably 10 months into my weight loss and had already lost 100 pounds. So when you wrap your head around that, the thing that I enjoy the most is being able to move again and feeling like I'm not old anymore. And before, I felt old and I felt sick. And to be able to get rid of those two things is amazing. So I hope this before and after, I'm going to leave you with a couple of more pictures. I hope these before and afters here let you know how hard I've worked and how far I've come, but I want to let you know that you can do it too, that this answer is not too far away from you, and you can do it one baby step at a time. Make a small adjustment to your life, get on a fasting protocol, start learning more about it, and as you go along in this journey, you're going to improve not only your weight, but you're going to improve in all kinds of areas that you didn't even think you were, and that's what's amazing about it. And so if you don't know my story, it's going to pop up right here. You can learn all about my journey. And for all of you that haven't done it already, my face is right there. Click on it and subscribe to this channel. It is free, but the information I'm hooking you up with is priceless. I will talk to you on the next one. Peace.